Welcome to Tech Talk, and my name is Phil, and I'm your host for today, and I've got Chloe Willaerts with me.
Hey
Chloe.
Phil, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming.
Thank
Tell
you
me a little bit more about the latest news in the tech world.
Yeah, I brought some exciting news for you because every week, as you know, I have a weekly newsletter. I just switched from Review to Substack.
Okay.
I didn't like having to switch, but here we are, chloewillaerts.substack.com.
Okay.
And so it's being sent every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock sharp. And this is the tech news that I've collected the course of the week. And I've tried to avoid talking about ChatGPT.
Everybody's talking about it. Yeah.
Because this week the news dropped that Microsoft is going to include ChatGPT in Bing.
Wow.
You know, Bing, the search engine that nobody ever uses for advertising or for searches. And now it's going to be powered by ChatGPT, and that's mind-blowing. And Microsoft can do that because they are one of the founding members and the main investors of OpenAI, the startup behind ChatGPT. And I think in Apple headquarters, they must be biting their nails right now because when Siri launched, you remember the first times you tried to interact with Siri using incredibly stupid? And that was because Siri at first used Bing for web searches. And then only a couple of years ago, Apple decided to pick Google search as the main input for Siri's web searches.
Okay.
And right now, I bet they feel sorry about that because Siri is, I think, one of the most widely used personal assistants. And you just imagine that everyone with an iPhone would just have access to the brain of ChatGPT and just have a language interface with this vast knowledge, not only of what the web has, but the whole learning, the trained learning model behind it that actually, in a rather impressive way, can guess what the context is of what you're asking and then remembers what you asked before. So I think 2023 will become the year that search engines reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
That took a while. We've been using them for 20 years now, and I think it's bad news for Google Search and for Siri. So there's two Silicon Valley.
Yeah, you show me also one other search engine, u.com.
U.com, an amazing URL. So u.com. This one popped up in my feeds in the course of this week. Although it exists, it launched in perpetual beta somewhere in 2021. And it's interesting because u.com kind of it combines all types of sources from the web, and then instead of just presenting them in a search engine result page, the way Google Search and Bing do, it uses AI to offer you whatever interface works best for you. So it is an AI-driven search engine. It still uses the regular web sources, but it uses AI to learn more about you and your preferences and the type of format you would like to get the results presented in. I think, so I had to look it up because I couldn't believe someone got their hands on this URL. But u.com was founded in 2021 by former Salesforce employees, and it's based in California, and they claim that they summarize only what the AI thinks is the best parts are of the internet, and then without ads and with total respect for your privacy. But they all started like that, without ads, with total respect for your privacy. Well, we'll see where it takes us. u.com, and then very soon also Bing.com. I think I'm waiting for a personal assistant app offered by Microsoft. I never thought I would say that, but they used to have one.
You're sitting with the Apple devices.
I know, we're surrounded by Apple devices. So Microsoft kind of killed their own virtual assistant a couple of years ago. She was called Cortana. Cortana is actually a character from one of their games. And I met the team behind Cortana, and they were really working on, they were seeing it as the equivalent of OK Google and and the Amazon. It's not called Echo; it's the other one. And then of course Siri. So it could stand next to these other 3 virtual assistants, and they kind of killed the project because it wasn't, it wasn't valuable enough. Just imagine if they would just, and Microsoft, if you're listening, if you would revive Cortana. I tested the AI 2 or 3 years ago by talking to Cortana in the headquarters of Microsoft in Redmond.
Wow.
And I was impressed, and I also liked the fact that she had a personality. Cortana has a personality. You could ask her questions like Star Wars or Star Trek, and then without even blinking, she said Star Trek, and I liked her immediately, of course, because of that. So imagine that Microsoft revives the virtual assistant project. Please reuse the name Cortana. It was a really cool name. And has her run on ChatGPT as well. Why the fuck not? So
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world of ChatGPT.
Yeah, another thing about ChatGPT. So I think it was, and we should have, a penalty every time we mention the word Elon or Musk. But there we are. He said that ChatGPT is the end of homework, which is true. Most of the discussions around ChatGPT are around universities and colleges panicking and blocking. Oh my God, that'll help. Blocking the URL when the students are on the university or high school's ground. But there was one thing, I've been using it intensely for the past month or so, and it's of course the business model is based on commercial companies getting API access to ChatGPT and then building other services on top of that, the way DALL-E has, and basically. But I got the news this week, with kind of worrying, that the ChatGPT has introduced a new feature called watermarking text. So
that's bad for the students, I think.
That's bad, It's like doing a PowerPoint presentation and then your images still have like Getty Images watermark on it. That's when everybody knows that you were too cheap to buy your own stock images. So how exactly does a language model watermark the text?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to do, no?
No, it's not, because it's an AI. It uses cryptography, obviously, and it kind of sneaks patterns of words and letters and punctuations in a secret, as a secret code sneaks it into the text.
So if the students adjust it a little bit, then it's...
Yes, of course, that's of course, because I can smell a ChatGPT text from miles away now. It does, if you don't, it's just like with the text-to-image AIs, if your prompt is not good enough, it'll just do something out of its own image of what it thinks is a good text. It's not always true. My advice is to use that other AI-driven platform where you can adjust the style, which is Grammarly. I use Grammarly a lot. I've been using the professional version for 3 years now, I think. So Grammarly now knows my writing style.
So that's also AI.
It's also AI-driven, but in the sense that it's not generative AI.
No.
So Grammarly doesn't write for you the way Jasper or Copy.ai, they write for you, but Grammarly doesn't write for you. But the AI part of Grammarly is that it learns from the spelling and grammar corrections that it presents to you. So after a while, it will learn from what you accept as the corrections in Grammarly. And so what I do, like I said, I wrote another handbook in the past 3 weeks. It's not written by ChatGPT, but let's just say that every time I got some sort of a mini writer's block. It's good to have this writing assistant next to you to come up with some ideas in bullet points usually, and then I could get going again, and then I would make sure that it was written in my style by just feeding it to Grammarly, my Grammarly.
But then you're writing a book in a really fast time.
Yes, I wrote a 300-page handbook called Digital Content Like a Pro. So it's become a whole series now. It started with Digital Marketing Like a Pro, then Video Marketing Like a Pro, and now there's Content Marketing Like a Pro. And usually it takes me like 3 months to complete a book. And now it took me 3 weeks.
Wow.
So in terms of, I think the impact of this type of generative AI is in terms of productivity. And all these discussions about are you still the author of a text, or where's the copyright, plagiarism, that type of thing, they're moot. To me, they're moot. That's not the point. It is about productivity and then allowing creatives who write, who design,
True, designers
who
as
make
well,
videos, because that's the logical next step, to have this whole production cycle shortened by a factor 10, and that's I'm willing to pay for. Absolutely.
It's like the time that the kids before the phone. Now it's before AI.
Before AI, yeah.
So,
but I remember when, as you know, I was already on the internet when you were still, when it was still in black and white and only open 2 or 3 hours a day. And I remember the exact same discussion when Wikipedia was created. When it came to schools and homework and writing, and people would say, yeah, but then everyone will just copy paste from Wikipedia. So that didn't happen either. Wikipedia is a starting point for research. It can show you the way for your thinking process, and then you can see what Wikipedia themselves say that they are the worst possible source to quote if you're writing a book or a thesis. So,
but can you imagine how Wikipedia can benefit from this as well? Because
of course,
it's all about writing by people, Wikipedia.
I think the first thing that developer teams feed into any language model AI is the whole of Wikipedia. That's, I think, is logical. And then anything that on the rest of the internet that Wikipedia links to is also included, and then the AI spiders on from there. So I think that's how the training starts. But another tool, we're mentioning text to image, and as you know, Canva.com included text to image. I think it's based on Stable Diffusion. So what I use now, I've been on a roll. I've started blogging again. So I started my personal blog at Linux.be in 2004. And then when you look at the archive, I used to be a lot more active, of course, because at first I would blog 3 or 4 times a day, and sometimes it was just a link dump. But when Twitter came along, it kind of didn't replace the blog, but just, sharing links to interesting stuff on the web. That's what Twitter took, right? And then the newsletter came. So actually just sitting behind my keyboard and then start typing a blog post, that I hadn't done that in like 10 years. And then somewhere between Christmas and New Year's Eve, I just started blogging. I think I wrote 6 blog posts in the past week. And I'm really happy with the blog posts. Like I said, there's something that catches my eye in the course of the week. Like I wrote a blog post about chronic pain, or I wrote a blog post about just anything that catches my eye. The fact that a lot of old movies and books and magazines from the year 1927 are now available for the public. The copyright has expired now. So a blog post about that. So that's great. Wow. And the images I make with Canva. So Canva now, the images for my blog posts, Canva now has text-to-image AI included.
Wow. I thought it was only like Runway ML
but no, that's it is only Dolly and Stable Diffusion and maybe a handful of them, but Canva simply has an API to these originals, and that's how it works. There's a lot of
there's a slap in the face for Adobe, I think.
Yes, and speaking of Adobe, so this past week, couple of days ago, Canva announced that it now has over 100 million monthly active users. And that's, according to Canva, nearly 4 times the number of Adobe's creative software users, 4 times more. And of course, Adobe it moved successfully for professionals only to not everyone. I mean, but they do have, I do everything on an iPad, right? And they do have a number of apps that are like the light versions of the professional one, and you can do a lot of creative work with Canva apps if you're a total beginner. So they are, I think, the industry standard for any visual work until apparently Canva. I must say they've added a lot of features that Adobe can never offer. Canva now has also Canva Docs, DOCS, and that's a frontal attack to Google Docs and Microsoft Word. So it's going beyond, cropping your images so they fit as a Facebook page header. I remember that Canva started like that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think Canva is also easier to use because the sizes are already there. And when you go in Photoshop or Illustrator, it's all the same things as in the past, 20 years ago, like an A4 or an A3 page, and that's it. But Canva is like, you want the Facebook banner, and that makes it a little bit easier for people to use.
Yes, of course.
For me as well as a creator. So, yeah.
Do you use Canva as well?
No.
Oh, okay. You're still in the Adobe camp.
Yeah, I still use Adobe for video editing and also for Photoshop or logo design as well. But I'm using Figma now, and Figma is
Figma.
Also something like Adobe XD.
Figma is owned by Adobe now, I think.
Yeah, they bought it, but then it went wrong. Sometimes the server is down as well now, so that's because Figma is an online tool.
Yes.
So,
well, in theory, all Adobe products are in the cloud now as well, right?
Yeah, but it's not stable enough.
Ooh.
Yeah, Adobe is not stable enough because before Adobe bought it, it was really good, Figma.
Yeah.
Never had an issue. And yesterday we were chatting about changing some landing pages. And it was a server issue, and I saw on the logs that it was like a few times that day. So that's really bad. But yeah, okay.
But if you can, it's a different target audience, I think, Canva and Adobe. But they're starting to overlap a lot. If you're like a small advertising agency, and you have to create an infographic for one of your customers, Canva has these hundreds of templates that you can use, and then
I think it's good because
and you start with something that Canva has in their catalog, and then you start tweaking it.
Yeah, that's really good because in the past everybody asking me for some easy stuff like infographics, and it was my calendar was full, and if you got a tool like this, I can help you further, but use the tool. So it's good. Wow, Canva. I'm starting using it now. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna
tell you why I choose the professional program. The professional version of Canva is because I was lazy. I didn't want to go look for stock images or images that I'm legally allowed to use. And then if you have the professional version, you already have this big and so it's like it's not what Canva was made for, but that's what I started using it for once I had the professional version. So lazy people is like the best target audience. If you can tell lazy people who have a lot of work to do, pay me €50 a month and I will save you a lot of time and effort, and it will still look good. That's one of the best business models you can have.
Yeah, and also the text to image is a really, really, really good invention because there's always an issue with stock images. The stock images on a web page, on Shutterstock or something like that, is always the same, but when you need something specific, then Midjourney or Runway ML is a really good tool to get. I've made the poster design with a smiley on a headphone, and that's really nice thing to do. And when I need to design it, it would take 10 hours or something.
And now it took you
10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, but I rearranged some stuff.
Yeah, it's a starting point.
It's not point,
the only thing I'm waiting for, and then that will be a reason to celebrate in our broadcast, I think, is the day that generative AI can finally do fingers. Because I'm in a couple of Discord channels and Facebook groups where they publish the images that are generated by, for example, Stable Diffusion or Dolly or the other ones. And the fingers appear to be really hard for. And then sometimes you can see in the prompt that we're talking about 5 fingers per hand. One of them is an opposable thumb, and the other, and it still messes up the fingers.
True.
So the day that the fingers of that the eye
also rings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's doing wicked stuff.
It could be in a month. This could be fixed. Maybe it'll never figure out how to do like glasses and pupils and earlobes and fingers. But the fingers are the worst.
Yeah.
Speaking of fingers, I'd like to talk about nipples right now.
Oh.
I mean, it's
I'm listening.
It's a bridge. It's a bridge. So TikTok has updated its app so that creators can prohibit younger viewers from seeing any of their short-form videos that are better suited for a wholly adult audience. I've seen, I think Free the Nipple was, of course, I think it was 2014, mainly on Instagram, a reaction against the censorship of the large social media platforms against any imagery that would contain full frontal nudity, as it was called, and then the standards for what is considered to be dangerous material that children should never see are different in Silicon Valley than they are in Europe, for example. And I think the whole Free the Nipple, I remember in 2014, it's still going on a little bit. So, and then of course OnlyFans came along. And OnlyFans is bigger than you think it is. It's a very valid business model, and then
also influencers are using it just
of
with
course.
clothes on. It's not only pornographic.
No. Only today I read about that. OnlyFans is launching the Safe for Work features where they have cooking shows.
Okay.
But I think the other video social media platforms are seeing this. There is a large audience for a specific type of videos.
Yeah, monetizing your content.
Monetizing your videos. I was looking for that exactly. And if this takes, showing a little nipple once in a while, maybe TikTok is not Silicon Valley. I mean, it's I still think it's. I apologize to our listeners from the United States, but seeing a nipple will not traumatize a child. There are other boundaries that are a lot more clear to that. Of course, I think, of course, a lot of children will lie about their age, especially when there's like a minimum age to enter a platform. But from a legal point of view, as a creator, when you say, the following is not for viewers under 18. From a legal point of view, you're already a little safer than when, I don't know, some child accidentally will see, I don't know, a nipple slip or something like that. I like it that OnlyFans is moving up to mainstream and TikTok is moving up to OnlyFans.
But initially, OnlyFans was for this purpose. It was not a pornographic app.
I've been told that it was original, but that's the story. I'm not sure if there's always like the story of the founders that originally started with
musicians,
a young woman. Oh no, that's Patreon.
Oh, okay.
Patreon was the musicians of Pamplemousse who were looking for a way to monetize the videos they were doing. No, I've been told, but I'm not sure if it's true. But I've been told there was a girl, and someone had leaked nude pictures that she took of herself, but sent to someone, I don't know, a boyfriend, and he was trying to extort her by demanding money, or he would put them public somewhere. So, she reacted by putting them online herself and asking money for access. So that is supposed to be the La Petite Histoire.
Okay.
OnlyFans. That the reaction was that, so you want to see my nude pictures? Well, you can, but you'll have to pay for access.
Smart girl.
Well, the good news is that we have all these people who dream of becoming creators and who have become pretty good at, taking pictures themselves and then editing videos. That's what Instagram and TikTok is all about. And for a large part, maybe also YouTube. So it's not an economy yet. I wouldn't say there is a thing as creator economy and people actually making money with what they're doing. But all these skills that have been, there's a lot more videographers and photographers than 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
and if you look at the results, some of them are pretty good. So this will have an effect, and if the platforms will enable that on TikTok, you still can't make money, right? So not directly, not like you can on YouTube. On YouTube, you get 50% of the advertising revenue. If you're big enough and if you've been approved as a channel that can have advertising. TikTok doesn't have it yet. Instagram doesn't have it.
Yeah, they have like a creator marketplace, TikTok, but
yes,
I heard they are paying less money than YouTube
well,
is doing.
They TikTok and I think Snapchat, all of them have some sort of a creator fund. So whenever there's a creator on their platform and this creator says like, I should move to YouTube because at least with my size of audience, I can make money through advertising there. And then they will pay this creator from a fund is like $10,000, $50,000.
Yeah, and I heard that there was a white paper leaked from YouTube, Google, that they're also gonna monetize the short form video.
Yeah.
So I hearing on TikTok videos about people
moving to YouTube.
Immigrating
exactly.
To, yeah.
Exactly. Although shorts are really short, so I'm not sure where in this super short video they will sneak in advertising, but I'm sure we'll find a solution somewhere.
I think it's difficult. It's on TikTok when you open the app, it's like directly the portrait view of videos, and on YouTube it's like a tab, and how are you gonna put it in the tab, because then you already make a move, and then if you already get an advertisement, it's
I'm seeing the quality has somehow risen a little on YouTube Shorts, because at first it was just recycled TikTok videos, which I hate.
Yeah,
I mean, don't do that. It clearly has this. It's made for TikTok. You can't just copy it somewhere else. It's so specific, TikTok videos. You shouldn't even try and recycle them somewhere else. Maybe the original video, but not, as a TikTok video, I wouldn't, because there's the music, there's the sound effects, there's this whole TikTok style.
True, and now I'm seeing that the big content creators who are already on YouTube are using it as a micro
exactly.
content, like the big videos, they chop it up in pieces and then they put it on the
exactly
short form.
Yeah, and that's of course what I bet there are already AI-driven services where you simply upload your YouTube video or post your YouTube video, 30-minute YouTube video, and then it'll just barf out a downloadable zip of all sorts of ready to upload YouTube shorts, and then Instagram Reels already in the right dimensions, the right format with closed captions, the whole works. I bet they're already available right now.
Yeah, we can search it, because I already came across it, but the name I don't know anymore. So, but maybe for the next episode we're gonna slip it in.
Yeah, of course. So for those who are wondering, what are Chloe Larts and Phil Verheyen doing together? So. We're having a baby together, and it's called socialrunners.com. It's live, but it's still,
it's in beta.
In beta.
Yeah.
Can you explain what Social Runners is about?
Yeah, Social Runners is a platform. You can look at it like a LinkedIn, and where you can book people, professionals, and the people are content creators like videographers, photographers, graphic designers, and you have the tools now. But for many stuff, many AI tools, but for many stuff you need that authentic view of a content creator who is making you like an influencer, who is making good videos about you, about your story, and that's what we offer. You can book videographers, photographers, copywriters as well, to make your content for your business or for yourself.
Yeah, and my network is mostly marketing professionals, and I hear a lot. They realize that they have to create a lot of. They actually have some money put aside for the production of online videos for social media and for their websites. So they just can't find these professionals. No. And for this booking platform is for them. It also takes care of the small print. Like, do I have a license to use this material? Do I get the raw footage or not? So all of this is included while booking.
But as well, like editors, if you can make videos by yourself, it's a really hard job to edit. It's taking you 7 hours for a video of an hour, for example. And no, we have the tools, but it's a lot of work. So you can go on Social Runners and you can book one of the creators who can help you with making the content for you.
So on the side of the creators, it's a way for them to find customers and also have a platform that takes care of the paperwork, the administration, the invoices, the offers. And then on the side of marketing professionals, but also people who are looking for a videographer for their wedding, they can also, on Facebook. And then finding someone who will edit. Shooting a video is easy. You can shoot a pretty decent video with your iPhone if you want to, if you know the basics. But editing it. Yeah. And then the second job that nobody wants to do is a closed captioning.
Yes. Yeah, what I was thinking about it, you have LinkedIn. It's like a professional social media. But what if you can bring a social media, a marketplace, and a invoice software together?
Yeah.
And you have something really cool for creators. I'm a creator myself, and it's a really nice tool to have. Like, I send you my booking link, and you can see when I'm available, and you can book me, and I come back with an offer. And afterwards as well, like you have WeTransfer, you have that many tools, but we're gonna put it in one platform. They can send the files over, and when the files are downloaded and accepted, the payment is already done.
So we'll give a little updates on the socialrunners.com project every week. So where we're at now is that the platform, the whole workflow works more or less. Mm-hmm. The process works. It's just now the web interface needs some work. So
the communication
until
about what we are doing.
The copywriting. So I'm still working on, if you come across pages that are still missing, or the text on the page or the images are not up to, just bear with us. We're literally working on it. I was literally working on it an hour ago. So we're just, we've decided to build the plane on our way down. And we'll see how it lands.
But it's also good. We got a lot of feedback from the community. And
yes, exactly.
That's a really good thing, because that's the only way you can improve the platform for everyone. Mm-hmm. And everyone is happy with the platform this way.
So,
but okay, you have some news, because otherwise we're gonna
Apple is still
Apple,
Apple, yeah. So that there's a number of names that will always come back, like Google, Apple, Facebook, and the others. So what did Apple do? So although Apple doesn't really have to save on any money, because I think they're literally, in terms of cash flow, I think they're literally the richest institute in the world. There's no country, no other commercial institute, no government that is as rich, has as much money, dollar bills, as Apple has. Yet they're still trying to find ways to save money. And of course, they're using artificial intelligence for that. And so they quietly, the past week, quietly introduced a range of books that were narrated by artificial intelligence. And so if you have the Books app, on your iPhone or iPad, you can search for this type of book by entering the keywords AI narration. AI narration, you heard it here first. So I'm not sure. Do you listen to audiobooks?
Yeah, of course. When I go to sleep, it's.
What is the service again that is the most that summarizes books for you as well?
Audible.
Audible. On Audible. And Blinkist, Blinkist, same thing. And sometimes, of course, a book is just simply being read to you. I did this once, and I regretted it immediately, because it was 50 Shades of Grey. And there was nothing wrong with the narrator, but the book was it's not written well at all. And I had bought the whole series as an audiobook, so I actually spent some money on this, and I was going on holiday in Spain. and laying in a hammock. Everything was perfect. I was swinging in a hammock and drinking, cocktails, and then the sun was shining, and there was some music in the background. And then I had to sit through this audiobook. And, I only made it to, I think, 2 or 3 chapters, and I was angry with myself because I had bought the whole series.
Maybe they need to have
ever
the option.
since then, I hated the experience so much that ever since then, I never bought an audiobook again. So.
Yeah, maybe they need to bring an option that you have a sexy voice or something like
yeah,
that. Maybe you can,
Who should have? But then, even if the book is just bad, you can have a sexy voice. It would still be a bad experience. Speaking of bad, your grandma. We haven't talked about augmented virtual reality yet. And there's this. I discovered a company called, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Rendever is how it's spelled. Rendever. Okay. And so the business model of rendever.com is that it offers VR apps for elderly people. So VR is still a little awkward because you have to wear this weird helmet. Do you have like an Oculus or?
No, because I'm watching Snapdragon, who makes the chips for VR and AR.
Have you invested in Snapdragon, or do you have skin in the game? Not yet.
Not ready, but
just asking.
But it's I'm seeing the evolution now because they can fit it now in the glasses, and I'm want to see how they're gonna fix it with glass, how it's gonna project the images, but
like Google Glass, remember that one?
Yeah, it was ugly, but I think it's not far away now.
The helmet thing it's not. I have an Oculus, and there are some interesting applications in there, but it's just I can't do it for longer than like 20 minutes. Because I start feeling really uncomfortable. 20 minutes is long enough to be taken out of your physical environment.
But in the past, they were saying, not too close to the television, your eye's going to hurt. And now we are watching VRs like this.
I feel a little bit like, in Stranger Things, the experiments that they did with 11, when she was submerged. Yeah. I feel a little submerged when I have this helmet on. So I wouldn't want to do it to my grandmother if she were still alive, to put this thing on her head and then say, "Now stop whining." So the target audience is elderly people who are in nursing homes and that they miss their family.
Are it games, or is it like educational, or what?
No, it's a way of communicating with your loved ones. I bet there are games in there. I mean, that would be the first thing I would do.
That's for us. When we are older, we're gonna have a good time.
So this Rendever company just acquired an app called Alcove, and that app, when she puts on this virtual reality headset, it will bring grandma into a VR living room where she can watch movies, chat, share photos, play games with friends and family.
Wow.
Well, Alzheimer runs in my family. It could help. I mean, you could actually create a virtual environment that looks a lot like your old home, and it would quiet them down.
Yeah, true.
Because it's a familiar environment for them. So I think they're onto something. But they have to get rid of these clunky headsets. Now, as you know, I always start with a number of pretty serious, interesting news, and then it descends slowly into madness. So the BBC has an interesting podcast series about the rise of online gurus, and it's true, It doesn't matter. It seems to be a lot of people are missing something in their lives, and then maybe a couple of generations ago they would have looked up to, I don't know, a priest or something, an elderly white gentleman in their environment. And now these are no longer there. I mean, we don't do that anymore for, good reasons. But still, people are looking for guidance. They want to be healthier. They want to be more productive. They want to get rich. And this is a gap, a knowledge gap that a lot of online gurus are trying to fill in. It's a business model. And
I do it as well. So
you do it as a guru, or do you follow a guru?
No, I follow.
Who are your gurus?
Tom Bellieu, Impact Theory, is one of them. What was the guy's name? On Purpose is his podcast show. Shay Halley, something like that.
So when they give advice, you take it.
Yeah, advice. He was a monk, and I learned a lot about meditation and getting calm because I got a stressy job as well. So
how do these gurus? Your gurus? How do they make money?
With podcasts, yeah, and also Tom Beaulieu from Impact Theory has a nutrition bar. That's how they started at first, and he, with his wife, he has a really amazing story. They were almost broke up together. They don't have any children. It was not possible for them, and a really hectic time and really feeling lost in this world. And they were going for their health, like fitness, and then bringing motivational videos to people. And now they invite people like you and who have something to tell. And it's really amazing how every story is different, but it's coming to the same point about your mental health. And that is something that is really helping me a lot. Yeah.
So if maybe the whole business, the whole market, like on the one side there's the market side and then there's the business side of this, the gurus themselves, how they make money. So this podcast series, I haven't listened yet, but I will. It's called The New Gurus. The New Gurus by BBC Radio 4. And I'm curious about, how they build up a business, how they build actual money, because what they have is a community, they have a tribe. And then whenever a so-called guru is trying to make money by selling, scams, crypto scams, you have this Logan Paul. There's so many names of people who were seen as gurus, and then they start, selling stuff that is basically a scam, and then they lose their tribe, So they also lose their source of income. So that's what I'm curious about. The New Gurus BBC podcast series. Speaking of crypto scams, that's the biggest disappointment of 2022 for me, is that there was supposed to be, for example, there was a big merge with a capital M planned for Ethereum, and it happened, and then tumbleweed, and then all of the real life cases that we were waiting for, that you could buy actual stuff with Bitcoin or other cryptos. I got paid for a copywriting job in Ethereum, so that's the only blip on the radar for me in the whole year.
I missed out in 2015.
Oh, I see. I have a wallet.
2 Bitcoins for a logo. Wow.
And you said no.
I said no, yeah, because I didn't believe in it. But yeah, I see the benefits of crypto, but yeah, it's...
Well, right now it's only used for speculative investing, and that's hurting the reputation of this. I had expected like a decentralized Web3 by now, and then remember NFTs a year ago. But if it's only used for speculative investing, I think it's going to kill itself. I mean, that's not interesting enough. And I'm almost there. I mean, we have 15 minutes to go. We should have a buzzword specific for specific buzzwords, like Elon Musk, Apple.
Take a snack.
China should be another one.
Yeah, sure.
So China is the biggest market you can imagine. It is a country with a lot of, citizens, a middle class that has money to spend. Everyone is online. They all speak the same language. The use of online services this cannot be compared with any other market. So I think it's interesting once in a while to have a look at China, what's going on there, and the markets that pop up right there. So right now there's a market for companies that are looking for virtual people to represent them. So what they're looking for is a crossover between a brand ambassador and a spokesperson who behaves like a real person on social media. And but they're looking for ways to have virtual. So there are virtual influencers. I think Lil Michaela is one of the most well-known ones, but there are like thousands of them. But they want them to behave like real people, with the exception of showing the far too human side. So like accidentally liking something really racist or something like that. So they would never do that. They would never create content or publish content outside of a very strict briefing.
Okay.
And I've been told a virtual spokespeople / brand ambassador would cost about $14,300 a year. And they are attractive to brands looking for immune spokespeople that won't face negative press or any legal issues. Same thing, it's only a virtual person. So if they cause damage somehow, you can't sue them because they're not real people.
Yeah, well, we are going to the metaverse as well with Social Runners, and we are partnering with Blockchain Valley Virtual, and they are active with Unreal Engine 5. So it's crazy, it's amazing. I'm gonna show you next week how the visuals is, it's really scary. It's just like the CEO of the business is like the real guy in the virtual world, and when he's moving his lips, it's like the same thing in the virtual world.
Does he have legs?
No, it's really crazy.
He doesn't have legs.
Maybe you can continue.
So why do these avatars don't have legs? So that it means that you're on the
legs. Yeah.
Legs too.
I don't legs in that it's chopping up with the internet.
No, legs to walk on. Can you walk on legs? Does he have legs to walk with?
Yeah.
Because in
it's like the real thing.
Facebook's metaverse doesn't have any.
GTA, like you're playing GTA, but then they're gonna make little islands from businesses and games and stuff like that, and you can cross interfere.
But I can see it's Second Life all over again. So. And it's an interesting to have this third place to hang out with other people and complain about your first and your second place, your work and your home. That has a value. That's what bars used to be for. But having meetings in the metaverse, that doesn't speak to me at all. We
can see with the meetings on Zoom, it's also not the same.
The Zoom fatigue is real, and I can see myself doing that. Not even having, following some kind of an education in the metaverse. It doesn't speak to me. Sometimes I wonder. I already mentioned that there's a lot of material that is now becoming public property, so the copyright, and another thing about 100 years ago is that a guy called Paul Ferry published a Twitter thread, I think today or the day before, on January the 1st. So this guy called Paul Ferry, F-A-I-R-I-E, published a Twitter thread with screenshots of newspaper clippings of a newspaper that made a list of predictions in the year 1923. So between World War I and World War II, right? So, and these newspaper clippings make predictions about what life would be like in 2023.
Shoot.
And, a number of them, the workday will be 4 hours long. So Tim Ferriss kind of launched the idea a couple of years ago, but no, that didn't happen, right? So
no, it's
only work for 4 hours. Some days I will take my iPad and start working and try and get in the zone as fast as possible and promise myself that I will stop working whenever the battery runs out of juice. And but I did this for like a month and a half. And now I just bought a longer power cord, so I can keep working. So
you're moving around with
so work days that are 4 hours long, not there yet. The second one, women will blacken their teeth and shave their heads. It's not as weird as you think to blacken your teeth. I mean, in old Japan, the geishas, a real geisha would blacken her teeth.
True.
It was seen as a sign of beauty. And then shaving your heads, there are like Orthodox Jewish women, they will also shave their heads and wear wigs.
Yeah,
so
but I can't imagine that you are here with
this is not for today. Radio will replace gasoline. I think with radio, I mean some sort of
waves
that will replace gasoline. Nah. I know that Nikola Tesla was working on an idea where you could just broadcast energy. But it's not yet. But I should have numbered the list. I think we're now at number 4. Prediction: in the year 2023, all people will be beautiful.
That's true. Look at us.
With the right Instagram filters, I'm sure we all are.
Yeah, true.
In the year, so numbers 5 or 6, life expectancy is number 5. Life expectancy will be 100 years.
More or less.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think it's now for women, it's 75 or something like that. And then for some reason for men, it's always lower.
Yeah.
Because they do stuff that kind of shortens their lifespan. What can I say? And then there's a thing I really don't understand. People will wear kidney cozies, something to keep their kidneys warm. I imagine that 1923 was a really cold year. The only thing I would say is to wear longer jackets, and your kidneys will be warm. Here's one for you: men will curl their hair.
It's all
Are
natural.
these girls natural?
It's all natural. Yeah.
Oh, they are. That's what you know. I mean,
yeah, it's natural.
now everyone will want to be like you, and then this will become the first trend that will actually happen. Men will curl their. I must say, there's a thing called TikTok hair. I call it TikTok hair.
Okay.
TikTok hair is
Not just influencer hair. No,
it's like
just
really short in the back and the sides, almost like a skin fade. But then it's longer at the top, and then it's a perm. So I actually know like 4 or 5 younger guys that have TikTok hair, and it's I see perms coming back. I mean, they're not as obvious as they used to be. So, the United States will have a population of 300 million. I think there's more than that. I know that since November, the world is at 8 billion.
Yeah, that's true.
So, utensils will be made of pulp. I'm assuming paper pulp. Some are. I mean, if you've been in a hospital and they're afraid you're going to throw up, they will give you this.
True.
Have you ever had this?
Yeah,
It's made out of pulp. Is this a utensil? No, I don't think so. Flights from Chicago to Hamburg will only take 18 hours. They take even less. Flights from, I think 1923 we didn't have commercial flights yet. I think if you want to fly from Chicago to Hamburg, it'll take like 4 hours, not 18.
23.
20. Are you real?
I'm a virtual assistant.
Oh, there's a virtual assistant that got activated. That's creepy. Which one is it?
Commercial flights.
So Chicago to Hamburg.
Yeah, there were 1920.
How can you even have a flight that takes more than 18 hours?
Like with a little propeller, like this.
Or a balloon, a zeppelin. In the year 2023, newspapers will have been out of business for 50 years. But it's becoming harder and harder, I think, for physical newspapers to make.
Yeah,
it's never been easy. It's never been an easy business model.
But you see now when you open a news article that they are already, you need to subscribe to read more. And that's a good business model to do because they are working with like.
Oh yeah, they had things in episodes like cartoons or they should but it's just news. You all get our news from the internet, social media now. Private kitchens will disappear. Well, no, that didn't happen. But I think a lot of people started to order food in during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then you had these ghost kitchens.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mr. Beast did it as well, and.
We're almost there. Cancer will be eradicated. Well, unfortunately not. This will still take a while. Although AI is getting better and better at medical imagery to seeing the patterns that could point to having breast cancer, for example. They will find these in medical imagery a lot sooner.
Let's hope it's. Yeah.
But still a lot to be done. I think generative AI will start inventing new medication this year. New medication, maybe for cancer treatment. They can invent, new molecules.
I can see it happen.
New compositions and then turn them into a pill and then make a pill just for Phil. War will be wireless, and we might have telepathy. Well, war is not wireless, but it's using a lot more drones
Yeah, true.
than 5 years ago. Weaponized drones. And then the last one is funny. People will communicate using watch-size radio telephones. I had a very uncanny conversation with someone through my Apple Watch this morning because the iPhone was one floor down.
Yeah.
And so I actually talked to my watch. It's weird. I mean, it's probably me. But I do have like a watch-size radio telephone.
Yeah,
You can
true.
make phone calls with your
I
Apple
think
Watch
it's
if you're...
not long from now that we're gonna do it with glasses, because I saw that Apple also has some updates coming as well, the VR and AR, hardware. So let's see.
Now, before we leave you guys, I want to end with something a little more uplifting. It's called the Full Rainbow. Fullrainbow.co.uk. So it is a British URL. Full Rainbow. What it really is it's a fullrainbow.co.uk. It is a daily word game like Wordle, really. But instead of trying to find a 5-letter word with a Wordle, you have to solve an anagram against the clock. And and it involves quite a lot of rainbows as well. So I tried it out, and I was kind of pleased. Maybe there's an AI behind it that kind of plays with you and thinks, well, give her an easy one. Just to make her think this is a funny little game, and then kind of
it's
make
Friday.
me a little bit more miserable every time I try it out. So it's definitely not... how is it going? Are you solving the anagram yet?
No, it's like
Vantage, Phil?
Vantage.
Yeah, today's rainbow is Vantage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I swear to God, I haven't solved it today yet. I just saw it.
Yeah. Sure.
So fullrainbow.co.uk, just to bring a smile on your face. And then speaking of the smile, you know Tiny Desk Concert, right, MPS? Do you know
No.
this YouTube channel? Tiny Desk Concert is an acoustic set by artists in a very cramped, it looks a little bit like a bookstore. Stromae was there a couple of weeks ago. And so now the Tiny Desk concert that made my week is by The Smile. And The Smile, as you may know, is a side project by Radiohead's singer and guitarist, Tom York and Johnny Greenwood. And they're playing an amazing set with a saxophone player and a drummer in this little cramped bookstore with their band, The Smile. Yes, that's the one. And it's really, really, really good. I saw them this summer at Toro TW Classic Festival in Belgium. And I'm just amazed. If you are two musicians, the singer and the guitarist of one of those major bands, Radiohead, and then just decide, you know what? We'll do a little side project, just the two of us, and we'll see where it'll take us outside of this big Radiohead project. And The Smile has quickly become one of my favorite bands to see live. And now you can all see them in a very intimate set somewhere in a very cramped little store as a Tiny Desk Concert. The title of the YouTube video is The Smile Tiny Desk Concert.
Good found.
So thanks. That's all I have for you. If you want to click on the links, Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock, I send out my Substack newsletter, chloewillaerts.substack.com is where all the links that we talked about are for your convenience.
Thank you very much, Chloe. It was an honor to have you, and we're going to do this more often. So looking forward to it.
See you next week, same hour, same place.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.